The Model 3 and Model Y share a lot of similarities. I knew there was some differences, but being a Model 3 owner, I never had a chance to actually spend time with the Model Y. Well, I finally got my chance, and I'm actually blown away by how many differences there actually are. So today, I'm going to share all those differences between the two and tell you all my likes and dislikes. So let's get into it. I recently had to drop my Tesla off for some maintenance and got lucky to be set up with a Model Y loaner car, since there were no Model 3s available. I had the car for a few days, which gave me enough time to discover all of the differences from my Model 3 and was surprised to find out there were a lot more than I thought. So while I still have the car, I'd like to share with you what I discovered, and I'll let you know everything I like about the Model Y. If you're considering buying a Model 3 or Y, hopefully this video will help you in your decision. Now, this Model Y is a 2020 model, so it has all the same features as my 2021 Model 3, except for the updated center console. Also, it's worth mentioning that this is a long-range model compared to my Model 3, which is a performance. Okay, so first things first. The Model Y is a much bigger car. I didn't realize how much bigger it was until parking it in my garage where it looks massive. But being a bigger car means more room overall, which includes more headroom and more legroom. You can definitely feel it as soon as you get inside. Everything just feels bigger. Since the Model Y is a crossover, it sits higher from the ground. Not only that, but unlike the Model 3, the seats are placed on top of these blocks, which puts you even higher off the ground. And this means you get much better visibility out the front window while driving. Compared to my Model 3, it feels like I'm driving a truck. But another thing I noticed is that the rear visibility is way less than the Model 3, which is not a good thing. Because the Model Y is a hatchback, you get this little hole to look out of and everything else surrounding it is darkness. Here's how the visibility looks in the 3 and Y side by side. Speaking of visibility, I immediately noticed the mirrors are larger as well, which lets you see much more of what's on the side of you. The last thing I wanted to mention about space and visibility is that the Model Y has a full glass roof, unlike the Model 3, which has a bar in the middle of the car. The full glass roof definitely makes it feel much more open and in my opinion looks much cooler than the Model 3. I'm not exactly sure why this wasn't put in the Model 3, but I really wish it was included in my car. When it comes to storage, there's much more available in the Model Y. Let's start with the trunk. Since it's a hatchback, you'll find that there is much more available space. The Model Y cargo capacity is 34.3 cubic feet with all the seats in place, and 76 cubic feet when you put the folding rear seats down. And that's a ton of space. And speaking of those rear seats, they can fold completely flat. And unlike the Model 3, you can open just the middle seat if you want to put longer items in the car without sacrificing seats of your passengers. Two more quick notes about the rear seats are that since the Model Y is longer, the seats are longer in both length and width. And with that, you can easily take a comfortable nap if you wanted to do that. And lastly, they can recline as well, which isn't possible on the Model 3. Oh yeah, and the middle armrest is wider as well. But let's get back to storage. In the trunk, the area underneath the trunk liner is also much deeper than the Model 3. And not only that, but there's also another underneath storage option back there under the front liner, as well as another pocket on the right side of the trunk that the Model 3 doesn't have. Even the pocket on the left side is much bigger than the Model 3's. While we're back here, I also found a 12-volt socket, which is great to have when needed. Another thing the Model 3 doesn't have. The front of the Y is also deeper, which makes it a more usable location for storage over the Model 3, where the only thing I use in mine is for an extra charging cable. The last place you'll find extra storage is under the front seats, which can be used for storage from the front and back. If you look at the back seats, there's also room between the front seats, giving you much more leg room over the Model 3. Before we move on, I just want to let you guys in on how you can save some extra cash by switching to Mint Mobile, who I'm partnering with for this video. Chances are you've come across the humorous Mint Mobile ads from owner Ryan Reynolds, but in case you haven't heard, their service is pretty remarkable. And since I use Mint myself, let me tell you a little bit about them. With Mint Mobile, you can get top-notch wireless coverage at an unbeatable low price of just $15 a month. And that's without compromising speed or data. Built on the largest 5G network in the nation, they're able to keep their costs low by selling directly to you online. No middlemen or salespeople necessary. Making the switch to Mint is effortless. You can keep your current device and phone number, and with their digital eSIM cards, signing up and activating your account takes less than 15 minutes. I was able to do it all right from my own home. And if your phone isn't compatible with an eSIM card, Mint will send you a new one directly to you free of charge. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot, so you guys can stay up to date with my latest videos no matter where you are. Mint will show you how much data you use each month and recommend plans that save you money. And with their modern family plan, you get a wallet-free package that your family can set up with just 2 lines. Before making the switch, I was spending way too much for my old wireless plan, and now I'm saving a bunch of money and still getting great call quality and fast internet speeds. So stop throwing away your hard-earned money on pricey wireless bills and start saving today with Mint Mobile. Use my link down in the description to get premium wireless starting at $15 a month at mintmobile.com/MikeSeuss. Being that I am an audio engineer, I think the Tesla's premium audio system is still the best I've heard in any car. And to be clear, I'm talking about the premium system, which does not come in the standard Model 3. I always rave about this system, but for some reason, even though both cars use the same system and has the same amount of speakers, it sounds significantly better in the Model Y. It sounds much more fuller and immersive, and the bass response is way better. I believe that this has to do with 2 things. One, there is much more separation between all the speakers, making everything sound much wider. And 2, the subwoofer is located in the trunk of both cars, but since the Model Y has a hatchback, the rear of the car is completely open, letting the pressure from the bass fill the car. You should have seen my face when I first turned it on. I immediately went to the settings to see how it's been set up, and it was set to completely stock, with the sub-level on normal, and it sounded better stock in the Model Y than with my settings tuned in my Model 3. I'm gonna talk about driving the car, but I just wanted to mention 2 more features the Model Y has over the 3. One is if you get a Model Y, there's an option for a tow hitch. And second, it comes with a HEPA filter and biodefense mode standard. To get this in my Model 3, I had to buy and install an aftermarket HEPA filter. If you want, you could check that video out right here. Now let's talk about driving. The Model Y is a much bigger and heavier car than the Model 3, and you can definitely feel it while driving. The car still feels peppy and fast, but at the same time, it still feels heavy. And since it's taller, you can feel the body roll when taking corners, and sometimes even when just switching lanes at higher speeds. Another thing that I noticed right away was the ride quality. I have a Model 3 Performance, which has bigger rims and thinner tires, which means compared to having smaller rims and bigger tires, you feel much more feedback from the road and get much more vibration as well. To me though, my Model 3 is very smooth. Now the Model Y Long Range has bigger tires and smaller wheels, but for some reason the ride quality is worse. Now this is a used Model Y from 2020, so maybe it's been through some things, but then again, so is my Model 3, so I'm not sure what's going on, but the quality is much worse in this loaner car. So that pretty much wraps up all the differences I found. As you can see, there's a lot. And to be honest, if I were to buy a Tesla all over again, I probably would go with the Model Y. It's more expensive than the 3, but you're getting more useful features. There's a lot I do like about the Y, but here's what I don't. 1, there's less rear visibility, which I did kind of expect for being a bigger car. 2, it has a much rougher ride than the Model 3. 3, it feels much heavier when driving. And 4, I didn't get to mention this, but the Model Y includes this plastic trim on the side and rear of the car. The loaner car I have is black, and when new, this plastic trim is a dark black color. I noticed on this 2020 model, all the plastic trim has faded into this light gray color and has gotten permanently damaged from road debris, showing tons of wear, scratches, sun damage, and stains that do not come out. I was completely disgusted when I saw this. Now there are options to protect the plastic material, like this 303 protector that I mentioned multiple times on this channel. So if you get a Model Y, I recommend getting this too. I'll have that linked in the description. I hope this video was useful to you. If it was, give this video a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more awesome Tesla content. Until next time, peace.